Hi, my name's Daryl, and I'm searching for the best deal on a used Wrangler. Now, as a YouTuber, as I do research on things, I just feel like it's my responsibility, even if it's kind of a private thing, to share what I learn with others. And so if you are in the market for a used Wrangler, I hope these videos help you. Now, the Wrangler that I have in front of me, it's actually not mine yet. It's provided by Chapman, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram of Las Vegas. They're helping me create a series of videos specifically about Wranglers, and right now we're focusing on purchasing a used Wrangler. Now, if you're like me, I'm looking at getting the best value for my money, and I feel like if you purchase from a private seller, you can probably get the best deal. The other benefit of purchasing from a private seller is you can get more history about that particular vehicle, especially if it's a one-owner car. So now, where do you actually find vehicles from private sellers? So there's the normal sites. You have Craigslist and AutoTrader. Car Gurus is a relatively new site that lets private sellers list their vehicles. But actually where I've found the most vehicles for sale is on Facebook Marketplace. And it's probably not a surprise given the popularity of the platform. And also they let you list your vehicles for free. And so yeah, who doesn't like free? Now the one issue with any of these sites is scams. And I feel that is especially the case with Facebook Marketplace, people trying to, kind of steal your personal information when you kind of reply to an ad. So you do need to be prepared and treat each ad like it could potentially be a scam. One of the things that I intend to do is ask questions prior to going out and actually looking at the vehicle. And that's really what this video is about. Now, I'm actually going to broaden my search other than just the local areas, really to try to find the best deal and the best vehicle that I can. And so it's really important in that case for me to talk to the seller beforehand to kind of ask some questions to fill out the seller and also to get a little more information about the vehicle. And so let's get on with the questions that I think you should ask. Now, in this video, I'm focusing on the top 5 questions. I'm actually going to be asking quite a bit more questions than that. And I put the questions that I'm going to ask actually in this video's description. And so if you found, this information is going to be helpful, you might want to check out all the questions and maybe add those to your list. But the first question that I would ask is, has that Wrangler been modified at all? And so really what I want to know about the vehicle is it running larger than stock tires? Has the vehicle been lifted? And or, has any modifications been made to the engine? Wranglers really don't like engine modifications. And if you lifted the vehicle, there could be the potential if you use subpar parts, or if the install wasn't done correctly, or if you didn't use the right combination of the parts, you could have a really poor experience. So the steering could be kind of a little bit not tight. You could get the dreaded death wobble as you're driving the car. And so really I want to find as close as possible, as close to stock as possible when I'm looking for a used Wrangler. And I'd recommend that you do similarly. Now, the second question that I'd ask about that particular Wrangler is, how often did you take the vehicle off-road? And, what kind of trails did you do? So, of course, the Wranglers are built to go off-road, and you don't want to necessarily penalize an owner for using the Wrangler as it's intended. But, if they did some serious rock crawling, if you get out there and you look underneath the frame and there's a bunch of things that are bent, because they got hit by a bunch of debris on the road, then that's not something you really want to purchase. My preference is to get more of a daily driver car that really didn't go off-road very much. And yeah, I would recommend that you look for something similar, but if the vehicle has been modified and it's all set for serious rock crawling and that's what you want to do, then maybe that's something that you want to look for. But for me, I'll take a stock Wrangler. So the third question I'd ask, and this is really not anything that's Wrangler specific, it's really, you want to ask this for any used car purchase, is, what's the status of the title? So is the car paid off? Is the title free and clear? Is it a salvage title? They got it, from a junkyard and kind of reconditioned it and tried to sell it. So, you really want to know that the vehicle has been paid off. The other thing that you want to know is the person that you're talking to on the phone, is your name on the title, or are they trying to sell it for somebody? A lot of times, the person that you're talking to or the person that's selling the vehicle isn't actually on the title. And yeah, you want to make sure that the person that you're purchasing from, their name is on that title. Now, the fourth question I'd ask is, has this vehicle, has the Wrangler, has it ever been in an accident? So, there can be minor accidents, little fender benders, and of course the Wrangler, will handle that really well. But a lot of times you really can't tell, on a specific accident if there was any sort of frame damage. Maybe they just did a cosmetic repair and there's some underlying issues. So you really need to ask the question, has that vehicle ever been in an accident? And the last question I'd ask is, does everything work? So, is there a check engine light? Do the wipers, windshield wipers don't work? Does the door locks or the windows, the automatic windows, do they not work? Just be honest with me. Does everything work? I'm going to go out, I'm going to inspect that vehicle, I'm going to test everything. And if you tell me everything works and I get out there and there's a bunch of things that don't work, then there's going to be some issues and I'm just going to leave. So yeah, that's a really important question to ask. And hopefully they're going to be upfront and honest with you before you take a trip out. Now, a kind of add-on question to that previous one is, what is the service record of that particular vehicle? How often did you get the oil changed? Did you have any major repairs in the vehicle? Were all the recalls done? So you really want a vehicle that has been appropriately maintained. I would like to see, every 5,000 miles, that oil changed. The Wrangler actually, it'll tell you when it wants to see the oil changed based on your kind of driving patterns. But yeah, give me an owner that doesn't wait for the vehicle to tell him that it needs an oil change. Give me an owner that changes his oil every 5,000 miles. And that's the kind of Wrangler that I want to purchase. And do they have records of that particular services? So did they go to the dealer to get the services done so you can check on that? Or do they have printed records for all of those services that they had done? Or did they do the oil changes themselves, but yet they kept records? I want a vehicle that has been maintained and that has records for each of the services performed. So that's it. Those are the 5 questions, or maybe 6 questions, that I'd recommend for sure that you ask of the seller before making a trip out. If you found this information helpful, please like it. And also consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be creating a whole lot of Wrangler content, and the next series of videos is really going to be going over inspecting a Wrangler. So I'm going to be talking to a service advisor from a Jeep store, and they are going to be talking about the kinds of things that they do when they inspect a vehicle and some of the common problems on both the JK and JL platform, what the symptoms of those problems are, and how much it costs to fix. And so yeah, if you are looking for a used Wrangler and if you want help with inspecting it, you're really not going to want to miss that video. So I hope to see you in the next one again very soon.